What if I told you the monsters aren't the scariest thing in this town anymore? What if the real horror is that the town itself is learning, evolving, and pushing back? Because in From Season 4, Episode 2, someone dies in a way we've never seen before. A dead man comes back, and a child is given a mission that might be the key to everything. But here's the terrifying part. The more they learn, the faster they die. This is From, created by John Griffin, a sci-fi horror series where a group of strangers is trapped in a town they can't escape, surrounded by creatures that only come out at night. And in Episode 2, titled Fray, the story doesn't just continue. It fractures. We open in chaos. The town is already shaken after the events of Episode 1. Jim is dead. Boyd is breaking. And something far worse than the creatures has entered the game. The man in yellow, disguised as a girl named Sophia. Kenny wakes up and immediately realizes something is wrong. Sophia is gone. Not just gone. She's outside, at night, standing in the open, mourning her father. And if you've been watching this show, you know what that means. No one survives outside at night. Kenny runs, grabs her, pulls her back inside, angry, confused. He tells her the rule everyone knows. You don't go outside at night unless you want to die. But then, Marielle checks on the priest, and what she finds changes everything. He's dead. No blood, no wounds, no attack. Just dead. And that's when the fear shifts. Because up until now, death in this town followed rules. Brutal rules, but clear ones. The creatures hunt, they tear, they kill. But this is different. Sophia killed him, with a touch. And suddenly, the rules feel thinner, more fragile. Because if something can kill without warning, without noise, without evidence, then no one is safe anymore. But here's the real question. Why did Sophia go outside? Was she trying to die? Or was she trying to make someone else die? Because what happens next makes things even darker.
Boyd is waiting, outside Elgin's room, silent, still, like a man who has already made a decision. The moment Elgin steps out, Boyd stops him. And what follows is not a conversation, it's a warning. Boyd tells him the truth must stay buried. No one can know what happened in that cellar. Not about Fatima, not about the baby, and definitely not about Smiley. Because imagine this, you're trapped in a nightmare town, barely holding on to your sanity, and then you find out a monster that was killed, burned, destroyed, has come back to life. Not only that, it was reborn as a baby. Boyd knows what that truth would do. It wouldn't scare people. It would break them. So he gives Elgin a choice. Lie, or be blamed for murder. Because Boyd is ready to frame him for Tilly's death, even though Fatima did it. And in that moment, we see something terrifying. Boyd isn't just trying to protect the town anymore. He's controlling it. But what happens next shifts the focus again. Outside, Boyd spots something hanging from the motel sign. A bag, dripping blood. Fresh. Tabitha sees it, and instantly knows, or at least she thinks she does. She believes Jim is inside, so she sends Julie and Ethan away, far from the town center, far from what they're about to see. Boyd and Jade bring the bag down. Tabitha opens it. And inside are goat heads, not Jim. For a moment, hope returns. But hope doesn't last long in this town, because seconds later, a scream cuts through the silence. Julie. They run. To the barn. And what they find is worse than anything they imagined. Jim. Strung up. Hollowed out. Displayed. And on the wall, a message. Knowledge comes at a cost. And suddenly, everything clicks. This wasn't random. This was planned. The bag, the fake out, the timing, It was designed to give them hope and then destroy it. But here's the terrifying part. Are the creatures smart enough to do this? Or is someone else behind it? Because right after this scene, we cut to Sophia, crying, smiling, watching. And that's when you realize this isn't chaos. This is a story, and she's the one telling it.
Now the mystery deepens, because Jade has a theory, and this theory might explain everything. He takes Boyd to his wall, covered in drawings, maps, connections, clues, and then he says it. They're in a loop. Not just any loop, a reincarnation loop. The same story happening again and again and again. Same roles, different faces. And when someone starts to understand their role, they die. That's why Jim died, because he was getting too close. And suddenly, that message makes sense. Knowledge comes at a cost. Boyd doesn't reject the idea, because deep down, he already knows. Every time they search for answers, something terrible happens. But Boyd refuses to stop, because if they stop searching, they've already lost. Meanwhile, Julie is changing. Her ability to walk through moments, through time, is getting stronger. So she goes to Randall and asks him to help her, not to escape, but to go back. She steps into the ruins, the arches, and suddenly, she's not in the present anymore. She's in the past, the night they first arrived. She sees the RV, her family, the creatures approaching, and she sees Jim, alive. She tries to reach him, to warn him, to change what's coming. But before she can, a creature grabs her, and just as it's about to kill her, she's pulled back, saved. But here's the question. Why that moment? Why that memory? Is she choosing where she goes? Or is the story choosing for her? Because if she can change things, everything changes. But if she can't, then she's just another prisoner, watching the same tragedy over and over again.
Now we reach the most haunting part of the episode. Ethan, alone. He goes back to the RV, the place where it all started. He takes the radio, steps outside, and then he sees him. Jim. Not a vision, not a ghost. Jim hugs him back, talks to him, feels real, and what he says changes everything. He tells Ethan, "Things are going to get harder. You have to be strong. Take care of your family." And then he gives him a mission. Find the Lake of Tears. Ethan asks why they can't go together, but before Jim can answer, Tabitha calls out. Ethan turns, looks back, and Jim is gone. Just like that. Now here's where things get deep, because this Lake of Tears might not just be a place. It could be a portal, a way out. Like the mythological lakes, Acarusia, Avernus, Lerna, gateways between worlds, between life and whatever this place is. And if that's true, then the man in yellow is guarding it, watching, waiting, making sure no one escapes the story. Because remember, this isn't just a town, it's a narrative, a loop, a trap. And every time someone tries to break it, the story pushes back, harder, deadlier. So now the question is, can Julie change the story? Can Ethan find the Lake of Tears? Or is the man in yellow already 10 steps ahead? Because in this town, hope isn't just dangerous, it's deadly. If you made it this far, you already know. This story is only getting deeper and darker. So tell me in the comments, what do you think the Lake of Tears really is? And do you think Jim was real or something else? And if you enjoy deep, cinematic breakdowns like this, don't forget to subscribe, because the next episode might change everything.